Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen, this is Jojo here giving you a video on the deck profile for Mermail Atlantean's Post-LVP1 pack. So the VRAINS pack is finally out in Japan in the OCG, and which provides us a lot of Link monsters. For Legacy Archetype, for example, Burning Abyss, Hieratic Seals, even Madolche got a Link monster, and of course Mermail as well. So because of a Mermail having a Link monster, this means that Mermail will not be dying anytime soon. So Mermail players rejoice. So what I have right now is the new Mermail Link monster, Mermail Abyssalacia. It's a very good card. It's a very its effect is awesome as well, and it simply pretty much solves every problem that the current Mermail Atlantean design is currently facing. So allow me to go through the effects real quick. It only requires 2 fish, Aqua or Sea Serpent monsters. So if you're playing Mermail Atlanteans or you just play Mermail with whatever variants, Abyssalacia is a must-have card for you. So first effect is that monsters that it points to gains 500 attack and defense points. I feel that Mermail Abyssalacia is a better card compared to Mr. Boy, since it doesn't give the opponent the same benefits, such as gaining the power boost in case opponent is playing water-based decks such as Crystron. Second effect is that you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard so that you can add one Mermail from your deck to the hand. And then the last effect is that when Abyssalacia is destroyed by opponent's card, either by battle or card effect, you can send one water from your deck to the graveyard to special summon one water from your graveyard to the field in defense position. So just by this effects alone, and also knowing how the Atlantean and the Mermail work together, you all know that this is going to be so fun. So I will just explain the things later on as we go through the deck profile, so that you guys will see how the Mermail Abyssalacia coexist, with the current Mermail Atlantean monsters or whatever deck engines that concern Mermails. So going on first for the monsters, going with the thing later on, might as well just put Abyssalacia here so that you guys can always see the interaction. Starting off with the Atlantean engine, I run 3 Abyss standard play in order to start off the combo. At the same time, when this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a water's effect, it can revive an Atlantean from the graveyard. So yeah, I try. So 3 Abyss standard, 2 Dragoons because it's semi-limited in the OCG. When this card is sent to the graveyard to activate the water's effect, this allows you to search for a Sea Serpent from your deck and add it to your hand. Then rather than going for 2 heavy infantry, I go for 3, just to utilize Abyssalacia's effect as well as to abuse it. So what is heavy infantry? Heavy infantry is when this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a water's effect, you can target one face-up card on the field and destroy it. So if you're playing Abyssalacia, so with Abyssalacia is basically just a disruption, disrupting your enemy movements, not allowing them to go further into the combo play, and therefore giving you a slight advantage in the resulting board. Then I run 1 marksman. Again, I don't run 2. I only run 1, and some people go for 2 heavy infantry, 1 marksman. But I feel that, well, why not just abuse the Link monster, Also, given that there's nothing really much to add on for the Mermail Atlantean deck engine, just more like balancing the monsters and their composition in the deck. So Mermail Atlantean marksman, when this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a water's effect, you can target 1 face down card on the field and destroy it. So more like just situational base. And yeah, in case there's any face down card that you may think that is threatening you or imposing some kind of a challenge, you can just use marksman instead of adding an infantry. So this is my Atlantean. monsters on under my disposal. Next, going on to the Mermails, I have run 3 Abyssalacias for searching purposes. Search for a Mermail. I run 3 Abyssalacias. 3 Megalo. Also for searching spells and traps that can be useful on the battle. And of course, this one is kind of controversial. I'm going for 1 Abyss lead, in which most people, especially Mermail players, they disagree with. Why is it so? Because Abyss lead requires 3 water monster to discard in order to special summon this, and also at the same time, you need to tribute a Mermail monster in order to activate its effect of forcing your opponent to discard 1 card. So this kind of a job. So I think that kind of explain why most of the people, from what I see in the Mermail deck profile, I rarely see Abyss lead. So I don't know about it, but I feel that Abyss lead is kind of just normal, providing you know how to manage your resources right, in which I'll go on to it later. I go on for 3 Abyss Gun because it's now, because of Abyssalacia's effect of sending cards either from deck to hand to the graveyard. I believe that running 3 now is necessary, so that you know you always have the relevant cards anytime, at any given point of time. I run 2 Abyss Array. I rarely see this card on deck profiles for Mermail players, especially either be it competitive or casual. I don't understand why, but I feel that this card needs more attention than what it's currently getting. I believe it deserves a lot of attention. Why? Because of its effect of giving your monsters a power boost. You know, first effect is that you can discard this card from your hand and destroy 1 water monster either from your hand or from your field. Along with this card, send them to the graveyard, and then you can target 1 monster. That monster will gain the original attack and defense of the destroyed monster by Abyss Array's effect. And also at the same time, when Abyss Array is on the field and it leaves the field, I think when this card leaves the field, you can draw 1 and discard 1. So going through the past cards that we've been through, Abyss Array is definitely relevant in the deck profile. So yeah, I run 2 of them. I don't run 3 because I think it's too much. I think 2 is enough. I run 1 of Abyss Dean. Again, one of the cards that I rarely see in deck profiles, but I believe that this card should require more attention, since it gives you more monsters when the time calls. And yeah, 1 Abyss Lane, just again to search for a Mermail in case it gets destroyed. Then 1 Abyss Healed. This is to accommodate, this to further support the Abyssalacia's second effect. You know, in case you have, you know, Abyss Healed, when this guy is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a Mermail from the hand. So if you think that Abyss Lead is costly, well, this is your cheat code. I run 1 Abyss Spike and 1 Abyss Spike and 1 Abyss Turge. Just 1 copy is enough, you know, just to provide some more disruption. Since when it's special summon or normal summon, you can send 1 water to the grave and then do whatever the effects states are. Yeah. Again, because of the discarding effect that these 2 cards have, you can also, it further provides more disruption or whatever. You can do a lot more things, you know. Sorry, my English is not that good. So these are all for my Mermail and Atlantean monsters. Next, moving on to the miscellaneous monsters that I run for this deck build. 1 Deep Sea Diva, standard, to go on for the combo play. 1 Aqua Spirit. 1 Mooling Glacier. So yeah, Mooling Glacier may be a burden. Even for me, sometimes Mooling Glacier is a burden for me because it requires you to have exactly 5 water in the grave so that you can special summon. But at least the good thing is that special summoning Mooling Glacier can also give you luck, well, depending on how lucky you are. Because when Mooling Glacier is special summoned, you are forcing your enemy to immediately discard 2 random cards from their hand. So if you're lucky, you take away 2 of the key cards, you have the advantage. Also, further explains why I would go for Abyss Lead, so that, you know, maximum you can discard 3 from the opponent's hand. Especially if you're going for the first turn. Well, isn't that a good thing? Well, I don't know. Depends on you. How do you do it? Then lastly, 2 Maxis. Well, Mermail is more towards resources. The more resources you have at your disposal, the better, right? So these are all the monsters that I have in my main deck. Now moving on to the spells and traps. Mostly focus on removal. At the same time, it's recovery, since how the Mermail Atlantean work is that you keep on adding things to your graveyard, you know. So we don't want to exhaust all our resources, especially what if we use the card for nothing, since hand traps nowadays are kind of a usual sight. I run 1 Dark Hole, 1 Monster Reborn. I don't have to explain things, right? 1 Salvage, Soul Charge. Pot of Avarice is a definitely must for me, unless you can think of any other combo plays or any other build. Moria of Greed, in case you don't have the optimal hand. Moria of Greed can give you a chance to, you know, get better cards to start off the combo. And 1 Mizuchi. Mizuchi, well, yeah, just to prevent your opponent from activating spells that triggers off the combo. Next, for the traps, I run 2 Abyss Sphere. Actually, for me, Abyss Sphere is no longer as necessary as it is because of Abyssalacia. But nevertheless, Abyss Sphere, I think, it still requires a spot on the deck, so that in case you don't have, you know, the relevant cards that you need, when it comes to certain situations, you can always rely on the Abyss Sphere. And lastly, 1 Torrential Tribute. Again, removal at the same time. Just go for it, man. Right now, the meta is kind of scary because in just one turn, the entire board is filled with monsters that you don't know how to go for, how to interact with them. So I believe that, you know, this is the build. Yeah. So this is my main deck, 41 cards in total. Next, I'm going to move on to the extra deck. What do I run in my extra deck along with Abyssalacia? So I run 2 Abyssalacia, not just 1, because just in case 1 got destroyed, then what am I going to rely on, right? I don't run 3 as well because, you know, 15 card in the extra deck, you have to comply to it, you know. And of course, there are more cards that I need for my extra deck so that I can always keep up with my enemy. So I run 2 Abyssalacias. Then 1 Totally Awesome because it's limited in the OCG. 1 Bahamut. 1 number 42 Galaxy Tomahawk. This will provide me to go for an extensive Link monster spam. And 1 Big Eye. So for controlling, and at the same time, you know, just take away your opponent's most irritating monster on the field. Next, for the Link monsters, I go for 1 Link Spider. I go for 2 Proxy Dragons. I want 1 Decode Talker and 2. Actually, you don't even need these 2 Link 3 cards, but I just put them in the extra deck. I just put them in the extra deck anyway because I don't have Gaia Saber. And yeah, I just put this 2 as a form of connection for the following cards: 2 Firewalls and 1 Bolo Dragon. Yeah, so these are the cards for my extra deck, 15 in total. And of course, not to mention Abyssalacia VIP. Very important person, or more like very important card to have. Next, for my side deck, I run 2 Gamma Seals. I don't have 3. I don't run 3. Not because I don't want to, but rather I don't have the stock on my stash. This is all the Gamma Seals that I have in my stash. I have other kaijus as well, but well, I don't think it complements the Mermail deck anyway. 1 Effect Veiler, because again, it's the only copy that I have in my stash. 1 Gofu, very rare occurrence, very rare sight, but can be a useful card as well, especially if you just want to go for a straightaway Link 3, you know, Decode Talker. Just use 2 tokens to summon Proxy Dragon, and then with Proxy Dragon, with this Gofu card, you can go for Decode Talker straight away. That's so sick, right? one Flare Metal Dragon and one Abyss Dweller for my extra, just like a side deck, you know, in case my existing extra deck monsters are irrelevant. I can just swap them with any of these two. Then for my spells, I run one Dark Hole, one Kraken, in case my opponent is more towards monster effects, 3 Cosmic Cyclones, one Solemn Warning, Mirror Force, and 2 Torrential Tributes. I know I already run one Torrential Tribute in my main deck, but in case that my opponent is just so heavily spamming the boards, I can just go for 2 or even just 3, you know, just YOLO them. Actually, I don't really need the, as I mentioned earlier, I don't need the Abyss Sphere that much because I already have Mooning Glacier to abuse its effect. But nevertheless, depends on how my enemy plays the game. Either will determine should I go for one Torrential Tribute or more copies of Torrential Tribute. So with that being said, that concludes my deck profile for my new Mermail Atlantean engine, also with the addition of Mermail Abyssalacia. Let me know what you think. Then I would appreciate any comments. Even if negative critics, go ahead. I'm open. I'm just a casual player, you know. I'm not really a competitive one, but I think that, well, it's fun, you know, playing the game. So yeah, this concludes my deck profile, and look forward to the next video.